Hello and good morning, my viewer. Today, I'm so happy to have you here. If it is your first time to be here, kindly subscribe to my channel and God will bless you. So today, I want to speak about obedience. I'll encourage you about obedience in the book of Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 1 to 14. It speaks about the blessings of the Lord upon our lives. So there are things that the Bible has categorized. If we do them, then the Lord is going to bless us. So I'll give you my example. There was a day I loved someone so much to an extent that do you know what love is? So it reached a point because I fear God, and I love God, and I like walking the ways of the Lord. I don't like regretting later. I just obey what God says I do. And let me tell you that God will not come from heaven and then tell you that I've come, obey me. No, God will use his servants. Sometimes, at times we may hear his voice, he may speak to you through dreams, visions and all that, but most of the time God will speak to us through his servants as well. So it reached a point when now I felt like this person was my prayer partner. We used to pray together, we used to come up with ideas, then we share. And he loved God. You see, me, I love people who just love God. Automatically, I feel that I'm just in love with them. I don't mean the very other love, ya mapenzi, but I just love people who love God. So I don't mean that every other guy who loved God nilimpenda. No. So this was my prayer partner. He loved God. He walked in the ways of God, and I felt my heart was moved kwake when it comes to intimacy, this love thing. So I told my heart, God, could maybe this person be my future partner and do that? If it is your will, let it be then. So I did not like, or I've never loved to do things outside the will of God. So the guy approached me and told me that have you ever thought if we could maybe come together, if God wills, start living together as husband and a wife when the time for God comes. In other words, he was trying to ask me for a hand in marriage. So I just said, God, now here comes the man. I had already loved him. He has come. He has confessed to me that he loved me, and if God wills, then we could make a family. So I told him, then if God wills, it could be okay. So he's a guy who obeyed the pastor. I also obeyed our pastor even up to today. So we started loving one another. In fact, it reached a point whereby, yeah, it was too much. Yeah, I just loved the man. I just loved everything about him. He, on the other side, loved me so much. And therefore, we said before maybe we move further, because it was like 2 months. Our love was only 2 months. Then we said, because there's no need to disappoint each other. If this is not the will of God and already we've invested our feelings in it, then it's good we inquire from God and also from our pastor to hear what he has to say. So personally, I'm so courageous. I went to my pastor and told him that I feel so and so can be my future partner. So pastor kept quiet, and then after listening to me, then he told me, Mary, I know that person is a good guy. He loves God. He's good actually. And I'm not against you marrying him. But then after you've told me all that, I've seen something appear in the cloud like a scissors. I don't want to say that it's not God's will, but then let's seek God concerning the issue. So that's how we left it. After I prayed, then we departed. And I went, told the guy what the pastor had told me. Then the guy told me, let us wait on God. So as we continued waiting, praying, after some time, pastor called me, told me that he did not feel the presence of God. He did not feel God inside that issue. So in other words, he told me that it's not the will of God for me to get married to this guy. I cannot explain my view, how I felt that day. I cannot explain how I felt, because already my feelings were inside. I just felt I loved this boy. And everything that I admired in a man, he had. But then we had to obey the voice of the Lord. So I went and explained to him. He said, then let us wait on God. We continued praying, but then things did not work out. Not that we parted, we abused one another, or we crossed one another's ways or something, but just because we did not hear the voice of God in that issue. As much as we loved one another, we did not hear the voice of God in that thing, so we could not continue. And the pastor told me, actually, he did not hear the voice of God. It was not the will of God for me to get married to that guy. My viewer, my listener, that thing, even up to today, has made me to be so close to my pastor. I have always obeyed God through his servants, because you never know what blessings can bring. And I've taught myself to always obey. And actually, obeying those on authority, obeying the voice of God, has opened a door of blessings towards my life. And I thank God so much. I'm here to encourage you, my viewer, that obey. If you are not married, let those affection, let the affection that you have towards your partner not make you live a desperate life. Like when you are in love, most people when they are in love, they don't want to be told. Like you cannot listen to anybody. If you have loved someone, you feel like you have loved them with even someone, it's like someone has entered inside your blood. We understand. We've been there. Yeah. But then, we still have the feelings. But then, learn to obey the voice of God. Learn to obey. Learn to obey, even if it pains. Learn to obey, because God has got good plans concerning our lives. We may see here, but God sees ahead of us. You may see the guy, how beautiful he is, how handsome he is, how maybe famous he is, how prosperous he is. You may see that lady, how vigorous she is, how beautiful she is, how cute she is, how name them. But then that's not what God sees. If you love God, if you are a child of God, if you are a Christian, if you have a purpose to walk in the ways of the Lord, learn to obey the voice of God. Obey God, I obey God, and God is going to make us reach far. So that is what I had for today, my viewer. May God bless you even as you obey Him. We'll continue sharing more of what God has done to me just because of obeying. May God bless you. Subscribe to my channel. I love you. Shalom.